Hello, my name is Joel Molina, and I'm a business and corporate attorney. And today we're going to talk about 10 tips or 10 issues that any company, business owner should consider when they're allowing their employees to work in a remote fashion. That means away from the office at home. Number one, trade secrets. Trade secrets, and layman some, if you will, is the secret sauce to your business. That information, that data, that recipe that allows you to keep a competitive advantage or potentially competitive advantage over others, over your competition. Such things like this should be um, understood by management, by executives, and basically you should understand, your employees should understand who has access to that, who should not have access to it, and how it should be used, and remind them of the sensitive nature of it. Number two, do you as a business owner have in place a process to limit information, confidential, trade secret, and otherwise, to those individuals that need to know it, and only those individuals? Otherwise, do you limit important information, potentially damaging information to your reputation, to your business, to your finance, to third parties which you've been entrusted with? Do you limit to a need to know basis? Oftentimes, the protections you have under the law, if the worst case scenario would ever happen, will may or may not be mitigated depending on what steps you had in place in the office to avoid any issue that may have arisen, such as allowing anybody in the business or in the company access to information when they otherwise should not have. Number three, are you making sure that your employees and third party associates are certifying their obligations to protect trade secrets, protect confidential information, avoid data breaches? Unless you as a company are taking the steps to make sure your employees are properly aware and understanding of what their obligations are, you could be putting yourself in needless risk. Number four, in this remote working environment, oftentimes there's no way around it. You're going to use remote tools. Are you going to use remote software? But are you making sure that your employees are using the correct software? Are you blacklisting certain ones? Are you whitelisting other tools? Oftentimes, if you do not have a strict policy of what can and cannot be used for information, employers may resort to using software that's not approved, and oftentimes these softwares are a hornet's nest of problems as they allow for potential leaks, sharing of information with individuals that should not have it. Oftentimes, hackers search out for these platforms. Oftentimes, are offering a free basis and offering in a fact without the necessary safety precautions. And if your employees are sharing information on those platforms, you could be at risk. Number five, similar to number four, what other security measures are being used in the platforms that your employees are using remotely? Are there the proper security checks, security limitations, data breach prevention policy inherent in these platforms and in your procedures and using them to avoid third parties, hackers, and other people that wish to do you problems, um, um, call you harm, should I say? Keep them at bay. Number six, it's inevitable. Your employees are going to be working remotely, and they're going to have to share information among themselves and with third party, with clients, with vendors, with advisors. And are they doing it in a way that protects your interest? Are they using reputable information sharing platforms, document sharing platforms that are secure in transport, secure against hackers, secure against incidental or inadvertent leakage of information? Number seven, do you have a written security policy? Do you have a written policy as far as protecting information, and has it been distributed, pardon me, to everyone in your office? Have you reviewed it? Have you made sure that it's properly being implemented and adhered to? This is not just for tools that may use for online. This is in general. There has to be some type of a cohesive, understood policy for everyone to understand. Number eight, are employees advised of the process to take when they may have in their possession hard copies, physical copies of information where they print and download information off company servers, off company emails, and leave it laying around their house? They're working remotely. So obviously, They're going to be in their houses. They could be in coffee shops outside of a pandemic. Obviously, they could be in sharing a home with a roommate. Are they taking the necessary steps to make sure that people that don't need to have access to the information and shouldn't have access to that information do not get it? This again can lead to inadvertent leakage of trade secrets, IP secrets, and other information that you don't want the general public to have. Inevitably, at some point in time, as I proceed to number 9, employees will leave. Has your IT department, your human resource department, and your managers come up with a policy to make sure that all information in their possession, all access to company software remotely, can be dealt with in an efficient, cohesive, and rapid manner to limit your company's exposure, limit their access to information, and instruct them how to act when they resign or get terminated from the business. Pardon me. You should have a cohesive, well thought out plan for any situation when someone separates from your company, whether it be by termination or resignation, to make sure they no longer have access to information and anything in their possession gets returned, and they clearly understand what their obligations are with sensitive information going forward. And finally, number 10, does your company have in place, or should I say, the tools they're using have in it inherent checks and balances to make sure that it self-monitors and alerts you when there are potential security threats, and leakages going on? Many platforms by nature are have steps in there, have processes in there to alert you if there's a potential breach, if there's a potential third-party cyber threat. But oftentimes you have to take the affirmative step to activate them, or even adapt and include a third party app to make sure that you get all the security features that you need to protect yourself. These are 10 tips among many that you should consider when you work in a remote environment. Again, my name is Joel Molina. If I can be a help, please let me know. Feel free to comment below and contact my office. Thank you.